Scorpio, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. I hope that you guys are really well. So today is your June 2016 tarot forecast. Just to let you know that there's been a slight adjustment to how I do the readings now, Scorpio, and you know, it's the same 11 card layout, 2 cards at the top to serve as your general energy for the month. The card from the bottom is your advice card from the universe, or the overall theme for the month, and the 8 cards in the middle serve as the situations, people, energies, that type of thing. Okay. Now, just to let you know, the change to this, which I really like this new system of working with the videos on YouTube, is adding clarifying cards. Now, I think I did it with Scorpio before, but it's going to be a permanent feature now of these readings, because what I find is, when I talk about clarifying cards, every reader has their own way of clarifying a reading or certain cards. So, you know, a clarifying card will work in such a way as to give more clarity to what a couple of cards mean, or what a certain card means, or, you know, what a certain spread means. You know, you'll add more cards just to get more depth, more meaning, more clarity, more information. How I work is, you know that we have, especially with the 8 cards in the centre of the reading, Scorpio, we have clusters of 2. So I work on a basis of 2 at a time, and usually a lot of readers will say each set of 2 cards, especially when they do this type of system, will serve for, you know, the 4-week month. So 2 cards will be for the first week too. I don't do my readings like that. I do kind of base it on that sort of template, but I like to kind of read a story. So what I'll do is I'll read the story first with the first 11 cards, and then I have the clarity cards for each cluster of 2. I hope that makes sense. Now, what these clarity cards do for me is that they explain the reason for why we have the 2 cards in the first place. So the foundation of the problem, the issue, what it is that you've been trying to achieve, and potentially what it is that, you know, the outcome of that issue in the month of June. So the clarity cards could be something that you've been dealing with for a long time, and the 2 cards that come up in the reading pertaining to that clarity card, I hope I'm making sense here, will be kind of the explanation for, you know, what kind of steps you'll be looking to take in the month. I've added a clarity card for the advice card as well, and for the general energy, and I'll show you how it works. Alright, so hopefully that makes some sort of sense to you, Scorpio. If you'd like a private reading with me, Scorpio, go to the details. They're going across the screen, I imagine, right now, www.carolsuniverse.co.uk. You can also join me on Facebook if you'd like to add me as a friend, or like me to add you as a friend. I'm quite happy to do so. I'm trying to build up I don't really deal with, you know, online social media stuff that much, but I thought it would be really good just to start opening Carol's Universe up a little bit. Also, I'm going to be doing an updated life spread reading. That's the reading where I concentrated on 5 areas of your life. I think I did it last November 2015. I think it's time to do an updated one now, and it will run from June right up until the end of the year. I'm also coming up on the channel. It's going to be, I was going to start doing love readings every month, but to be honest with you, I don't really want to do that. I just don't feel, for me, that it's right. It just doesn't sit well with me to do love readings every month. I was considering it, but then I thought, well, no, it's not really for me, because no, I don't want to do that. But I'm going to be doing an updated love reading. I'm going to be starting it in June, because I'm going to be looking for the energies from July up until the end of the year, what's going to be going on in your love life. And also I'm going to be doing a special video on how to overcome heartbreak through the tarot, and what I found, how tarot combinations, and how just using the tarot to work out maybe how your love partner feels, or an ex feels, because it's how to deal with a heartbreak, can actually help you overcome a situation. The more that you draw cards on how they feel, and the more that the cards start to weaken in terms of their feelings for you, sounds a bit weird, the more it puts you in a place of logic rather than emotion, which I feel that in terms of love, if you're trying to overcome heartbreak in a relationship, especially if you've had to make a difficult decision in terms of a relationship, or your partner has left you or something like that, usually I find that it's the way that we think that helps us to overcome, because when we stick with the emotion, it can be very dicey. So all of that stuff you have to look forward to, Scorpio, coming up on the channel for Carol's Universe. Let's get into your reading. The cards are already laid. So your let's go with the general energy first. We have the Hermit and the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so, you know, the Hermit is a card about seeking inner wisdom. It's about seeking guidance. Because when you're the Hermit, it can mean many things. It can mean that you're single. It can mean that you're looking for love. It can mean that you're on your own. It can mean that you're secluded from society, excluded, sorry, from society. It can mean, if the Hermit is in reverse, it can mean self-imposed exclusion. But I've usually found with the Hermit, whether it's in reverse or upright, it can mean the same thing, self-imposed exclusion, or, you know, just isolation. That's basically what the deal of this card is. But it doesn't always have to mean like seclusion from others or society. It can do, but it doesn't always have to. It can just mean that you need some time alone. You can be in a relationship and still be the Hermit, because you can be trying to seek some form of guidance. This usually comes up, this card, when somebody is trying to seek some sort of, you know, answers. They want answers to a question. That's what your Hermit is a lot of the time. As you know, with Carol's Universe, I'm not going to go into, you know, I don't deal with astrology and all that shit in my reading. Not that astrology is shit, it's not, okay? It works for a lot of people, but I don't really deal in astrology. I just deal with, in terms of a reader, I deal with what I know about the cards, my basic knowledge, coupled with my intuition, coupled exactly with what I see on the cards. I believe as a tarot reader, to be a successful one, you need to look at where the cards are facing. It's called tarot interaction, okay? So it's basically, how do the cards interact with each other? Some of you guys, because we have the Hermit and the Six of Pentacles, might have turned your back on a relationship, okay? It might be that you've turned your back, you've finally kind of gained some wisdom in terms of maybe a relationship where one person was giving not just to you but to somebody else. Okay, it might be that you turned your back on a situation whereby you found that you weren't the only person, because the Six of Pentacles can be a card about someone who doesn't just give to one person, they're actually having to give to many. Alright, so this can be a card about that as well. As far as I'm concerned, when I look at those, because obviously I look at tarot interaction and I'm looking that the Hermit is not facing towards the Six of Pentacles, he's actually facing outside of the Six of Pentacles. So this to me suggests somebody seeking clarity on maybe a relationship that's give and take, okay? Maybe for some of you guys, you don't really want, or there's somebody around you. If this Hermit is somebody other than you, Scorpio, this could be a Virgo individual potentially, because the Hermit represents Virgos, okay? And also the Six of Pentacles, the Pentacles represents Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, so it could be an earth sign that we're looking at here. And it could be that for some of you guys, you've been dealing with someone, the Hermit maybe, who is turning his back or seeking clarity on what he wants to give, or if he wants to give to you or somebody else. But I feel that this is more kind of you guys' energy this month in June, general energy, because I feel that the Hermit seeks the advice, and the Six of Pentacles is a card about give and take. So the Hermit is somebody who's on their own, and it could be for some of you guys, it's either you or somebody else, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that might feel that it's not what they want. They don't want to be in a committed relationship. Maybe this is what you're seeking clarity on. Maybe this is what somebody else outside of yourself is seeking clarity on, that they don't want to kind of be in a give and take relationship. Could represent some potential type of selfishness going on here. It could also be, as I've said, where you're seeking clarity on whether, you know, you want to be in a relationship that seems to be quite polygamous rather than monogamous, if that makes any sense to you. Because whenever I look at this Six of Pentacles, you know, though it's based on the system of sharing, so it's based on the system of fairness, somebody who's trying to be fair to everyone or trying to please everybody, it can also be a card of inequality at the same time, because one person is being given to, but this person isn't being given everything. This person on the card, if you look at this Scorpio, this guy is giving 4 pentacles to this one person. He seems to retain 1 for himself and 2 for somebody else, okay? So he holds back. I see this card as a card of somebody who holds back at the same time. See, somebody who gives little bits to different people, but he doesn't give everything away. And for some of you guys, it might be that it's an all or nothing month for you in terms of relationships. That, you know, if somebody can't give everything, or if somebody can't, you know, be completely committed to you, then what's the point in the relationship? That's what I'm getting from kind of those two cards when I look at them. And as I said, you know, the Six of Pentacles can be about approval or being needy as well. And for some of you guys, you might be turning your back on a needy relationship, for example, because we do have, as the clarification card, Judgment. Now, Judgment suggests that either it's Judgment Day and you need to make a decision, which is why potentially we have the Hermit here showing, because the Hermit needs to make a decision. He's seeking clarity in order to kind of work out which way he's going to go. It can also mean rebirth. It means that you need freedom or you need release. So for some of you guys, well, as I said, when I talk about the clarification cards, Scorpio, what I'm really saying is, you know, what is the reason for those cards? Clarify why those cards are coming out for Scorpio. And the reason is, for these two top cards, it seems to be Judgment. So it could be where a decision needs to be made and it needs to be finalised. There needs to be an absolute decision made on something. Maybe you're toing and froing on something. Or it could be that you need release from a situation, hence the Hermit, seeking clarity. The Hermit is number 9, somebody who's on their own. We see the, you know, the polarisation of these cards. The Hermit is somebody on their own, but the Six of Pentacles is someone who's having to give to many. You know, the Hermit can represent to me a certain type of selfishness as well, wanting time to oneself, not wanting to give of oneself or share of oneself. It's fine if it's a tutor, because the tutor will, if the Hermit represents a teacher, then it represents someone who imparts knowledge to you. They're almost like the Hierophant, but the Hermit is less selfish than a Hierophant card. The Hierophant card is all about knowing and all about kind of imparting your knowing to others. You know, it's about, it can be about selfish systems like establishments, corrupt systems, that type of thing, where it's do as I say and not as I do type of thing. But the Hermit's more kind of, you know, it's a more of an honest card, but in that honesty there can also be a certain sense of selfishness, only because you need to be selfish, because it's a necessity for you at the time. I do feel that the general energy for you guys is needing some form of renewal, or maybe even release from something potentially, or that you need to make an absolute decision on something, because the Hermit is seeking clarity and it seems to be over something to do with the Six of Pentacles. As I've said, it could be seeking clarity over a relationship where you are not the only person who is, you know, it's not an exclusive relationship. It could be maybe for some of you guys, you have a lot of responsibilities and maybe you just need to take that time out. Maybe you need a sense of freedom. For some of you people who are single parents, or you know, who have other people that you are responsible for, maybe you are needing release from that. Maybe you are needing time away from having to give to everyone and everything, potentially. Your advice card is the Four of Pentacles. And as I say at the end of the reading, Scorpio, what we'll seek to do at the end of the reading is we'll seek to bring absolutely everything together, okay? Now, the Four of Pentacles as an advice card can be saying many things. On the one hand, as the card stands, the Four of Pentacles is a card about security and stability. But it's also a number 4 card, and it's like the Four of Cups. It's where somebody is afraid to leave a comfort zone, or somebody is afraid to move out of something that they know, or they use what they have. It could be their home, it could be their possessions, it could be their car, it could be, because the Pentacles are about materials and they're about, you know, the things that we have. We measure things by maybe, or our self-worth by maybe the money we've got, the car we drive, the house we live in. It's about somebody who's unwilling to kind of take down their barriers in order to open up their world. It can also be a card about somebody who's quite possessive. It can also be a card about somebody who cannot let go of a situation, okay, or somebody who's quite selfish, Scorpio. So for some of you guys in the month of June, it could be maybe with this Hermit card, you're seeking clarity on a situation that you need some release from, because maybe somebody is draining you of your energy. Because this Six of Pentacles guy, if you look at this guy on something called the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan, there's a guy on this Six of Pentacles, because most tarot packs, every tarot pack is usually based on let me start again, whoops. There's a lot of tarot packs that are based on the original Rider-Waite illustrations, but they'll just kind of differ them. So with the Witch's Tarot, you get a guy who is actually giving to many hands. So there's many people that are putting their hands up to it, and he has to give to many. And I feel that for some of you guys, it might be that you're just having to give so much away to different people or to different energies, or, you know, you've just got so many responsibilities that maybe you need release from this. But maybe the advice card is, with the Four of Pentacles, that there is no release with this, that you have, that you tend to stick with something, okay? There is maybe the fear of letting go. Maybe that's why we've got Judgment as that clarification card, because though you need release, that those two cards, the Hermit and the Six of Pentacles, the reason for those two cards is that the Judgment card shows up, which shows that you need to make a strong decision on something, you need to make a judgment, or that you need some release, okay? So maybe in the fact that some of you guys need some release from something, you need some freedom, you'd actually need to make a judgment on that. But the advice card shows with the Four of Pentacles that it's either that you're fearful of letting go, maybe this is something that you're familiar with, maybe it's something that you feel safe in, maybe it's something that you feel secure in, whether that's a job, whether that's a relationship. And maybe it's a case of that you're just too fearful to let go. Maybe you've got a very possessive partner there that won't let you go. Maybe you've got somebody who's quite selfish, okay, in terms of their wants and their needs and their desires and what they're asking from you, potentially. We'll come to the clarification card for that Four of Pentacles at the end. Your first two cards are showing as the Magician and the Queen of Swords. Now, when you're learning tarot, Scorpio, one of the most important things that you can do for yourself as a tarot reader, one of the best things you can do when you're starting off, is looking at keywords of cards, okay? Because they'll help you learn, all right? You don't need to know everything about the cards. You'll develop that as you go along. Every tarot reader, even if you've been reading for 20, 30 years, you're still expanding your knowledge. It's important as a reader to do that, because cards don't mean the same thing all the time. They just don't. I did a reading on myself the other night, and I always read for myself, always. And I don't care what tarot reader says, oh, well, we never read for ourselves. You should, as far as I'm concerned, because it will help you expand your knowledge of the cards if you can relate it to something that you have been through. And there was a relationship that I was in some time ago, and I found it very difficult to let go. And I asked, you know, the cards, you know, how am I doing at the moment? How am I moving along with this thing at the moment? And I'll just tell you a couple of the positions it showed. It showed the foundation. It showed, you know, me now. It showed influences that were passing through with me now as being the King of Cups, which showed that I had developed a certain type of emotional maturity. Now, when you develop emotional maturity, it means that you're level-headed, okay? Because in terms of this relationship ending, as a Scorpio, you can hold on to things for far too long. That's what Scorpios tend to do. We tend to hold on to situations for far, far too long, and we find it very difficult to kind of move out of them because, you know, they've meant something to us. We like to read into things really, really deeply because we're very deep individuals, Scorpios are. We just are. Sun, Moon, Rising, we're all very, very deep. And this reading is for Sun, Moon and Rising signs, okay? So I said, okay, we've got the King of Cups here, and it resonated with me so deeply because in the centre of the reading was the Ace of Pentacles, my present situation. So I thought, Ace of Pentacles. I looked at the King of Cups and I said, okay, yeah, I've reached a level of emotional maturity, which means I'm looking at things in a very kind of logical way because all of the kings are not only based in action, they're also based in logic. The tarot can be pretty sexist in a way because the queens are usually seen as kind of deriving their decisions based on their emotions and based on their intuition because they're all based in, no matter what queen you get of what suit, every queen is based in emotion, whereas all the kings are based more in logic and more in, you know, their readiness to take action. So it is a little bit of a sexist thing I find sometimes with the tarot. But you know, it was interesting how, and I am a King of Cups, I'm a King and a Queen of Cups because I'm Scorpio, that's our sign, and usually when you get that in a reading it means a Scorpio individual, even though it can mean Pisces, Cancer as well, primarily it is Scorpio. So I realised, yes, I'm King of Cups. I am now emotionally mature. I'm seeing the situation for what it is, and I'm feeling a lot more level-headed, which leads to the present situation. When you do a Celtic cross, you can go upwards, foundation card, present situation, and then your crowning thoughts. Okay, so how you're really feeling down deep with the foundation, where that's leading to in the present situation, and how it's making you think as a crowning thought best that you can achieve at the top. So my King of Cups, the foundation, how I'm really feeling down deep about this situation is I've achieved a level of peace, because I'm not only controlling now my emotions around this thing, I'm now able to look at the situation for what it was and develop my thoughts now more to be quite logical rather than emotionally based. Which, to be honest with you, with the King of Cups, so he's an emotionally based card, he does kind of, you know, he's very much the type of person that can master his emotions and get on with life, okay? He keeps everything in check. That's what your King of Cups is. So it led to the Ace of Pentacles. Suddenly, because I'm becoming more level-headed about that relationship, I've suddenly, with the Ace of Pentacles, developed a new realisation about it. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is the seeds of something quite real starting to open up to you. So I derive from that King of Cups. I'm more level-headed now, which then leads to, in the present situation, opening my eyes up, and it's a new realisation for me, which then leads to the Sun card, which was my crowning thoughts. I'm feeling more positive, I'm feeling happier, I'm feeling more clear, more clarity, and it's making me feel good. From the King of Cups, it showed the Five of Wands in the recent past position, which means that now Five of Wands is usually a card about people who are jolting, people who are kind of at odds with things, but not in this reading, because from my level-headedness with the King of Cups, it leads to me starting to take down all of the blockages and frustration I had around this relationship. So the Five of Wands is not only a card about people who cannot agree and arguments and fights, it is now a card about taking down all of those barriers and starting to rebuild. So that was just a little bit of an example of how with the tarot you've got to be really careful. You can't just read cards for what they mean. As a tarot, you've really got to be intuitive and look at what the pattern of the cards is telling you. So the Magician we see show up here, and the Magician Scorpio is a card about initiation. So as I said, tarot cards, when you start reading tarot, it's all about keywords, okay? So we've got the Magician, initiation, and we've got the Queen of Swords, honest ideas, honest thoughts, because that's what the Queen of Swords is. She cuts out the bullshit in order to invite something that's more real in. She can be a card about mixed messages, yes, because she holds out one hand but she has a sword up at the other, so she's a card about limitations. So I feel that you guys are, in the month of June, the Magician is, remember, the ruler of all the aces. So you know that in the major arcana, all those major arcanas are the head of each pick card, okay? That's the way it is, okay? So the Magician is the head of all the aces. It means the start of something, but because it's a Magician card, it's about powerful thoughts, but it's about the start of something that's quite powerful within you. And I feel that within you guys, there's a lot of powerful thoughts going on in the month of June, because the Magician harnesses all of these ideas. He's not an action card though. He's not, because he starts off with the visualizations, okay? Your action card starts with your Emperor, okay? Everything else is being worked on up until that point, and then you get the Emperor in and it starts to actually build stuff up, okay, from all of that process. So it's a process, the major arcana is, along with the pick card. So the Magician starts off in the month of June, and this is powerful ideas on what you want to create in your new reality. Okay, that's what the Magician does. And we've got the Queen of Swords here. This is about making definitive decisions on what it is you want to do. Okay, we don't see action just yet, but we do see the Eight of Cups as the clarification card. So to me, you are definitely looking to leave something behind for some of you guys. and you're walking towards a new realization. You're walking towards something that you feel will be fulfilling you a lot better than what has gone before, because that's what the Eight of Cups is a lot of the time, okay? You can be walking, the Eight of Cups is always about walking towards something, because you can't walk away from something unless you know what it is that you're walking towards. So it doesn't matter if if you have a relationship, Scorpio, and you decide to yourself, you know what, this is really not working for me. Well, why is it not working? Well, it's not working because we argue, it's not working because I don't love the person, it's not working because I don't feel sexually attracted to this person. So therefore I'm going to walk away because I'm sure that I'm going to find something else better for me that fulfills me on an emotional, spiritual level. And that's what your Eight of Cups is about, walking away from something that you've had enough of. Because when you look at the Eight Cups in the background, they're stacked unevenly, and this person walks away because he doesn't feel that he can make any further adjustments to this. He's had enough. So I feel that you're walking away from something that you've had enough of. And that's why we have the Magician. This is the new cycle after that Eight of Cups. I'm walking away from something I've had enough of, and I'm initiating something new. And it's pretty powerful. I feel quite powerful with this. Okay, I'm the person that's going to be starting to initiate this. And I feel with this Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords is all about, she's not so much about, well, she is about initiation as well, but she's more initiation in terms of her feelings. So she's more the person who will make the absolute decision on something that she doesn't want and something that she does want. Okay, so I feel that you're certain of your ideas here with those two cards. I feel that there's absolute certainty. Okay, but also with that Queen of Swords, it can be a case of that you give mixed messages, because even though you're certain of what it is that you want, I feel that with her hand beckoning and her sword putting up a limitation, maybe there are some limitations around this for you, okay? Because she's not taking any action yet. That's where your kings come in. Your kings are the action takers. That's what they're there to do. Your queens are more about the influences. Back in King Arthur days, King Henry VIII days, your queens would always be the consorts. So they'd always be the person that would whisper in the king's ear. They'd always be, if the king was away, they would be the one to give the decisions, to give the order. But if the kings are around, which the kings are around in the tarot, what it says to me is that the queens are usually the people that would whisper in the king's ear. I think, my lord, it would be good to maybe take this path or direction towards this. And the king says, yes, that would be a very good idea. And then he goes off and he goes and does it. So the queens are very important in the tarot, because to me they are the burning kind of desire, the burning kind of feeling to move in one direction or the other. And so I see with the Queen of Swords, because she's based on ideas, communication, she's seen as the kick-ass queen, okay? Because she's the type of person that will call a spade a spade. She'll cut things out. This card is about cutting through illusions, getting to the heart of a matter. And I feel that it is that you know, I feel that you know what you want in the month of June, okay? And you're working towards it. Because we do see that you're walking away from something here. However, your advice card, for some reason, in terms of that, is the Four of Pentacles. Now, the Four of Pentacles could mean that you need to, in terms of your advice card, you need to be selfish, potentially, okay? Because I feel that if you're leaving something behind, with that Eight of Cups being the clarification card, we see that you have a very strong intentions with the Magician to start initiating something new. We see with the Queen of Swords, you're certain, you're direct with it. You are absolutely 100% certain of what it is that you want to discard and what it is that you want to bring in, okay? There might be some uncertainty for some of you, but looking at the card, actually, I feel that this is more about certainty, of knowing exactly what it is that you want to cut out and what you want to bring in. Maybe the Four of Pentacles says that there's a certain selfishness around this, okay? Maybe you're needing to make some form of sacrifices. Maybe there's going to be some hurt for someone here. And maybe that's why we've got this Hermit and the Six of Pentacles, because you're seeking clarification. Maybe there's somebody who's an energy vampire around you, or maybe there's, you know, you're having to give to everybody except for yourself, okay? If this one pentacle above this guy's head means he only gives one pentacle to himself while he's giving to everybody else, then to me this means that this guy needs approval. And maybe for some of you guys, you're seeking everybody else's approval, but you're not really listening to your own heart, which would mean that Judgment, being the clarification card for that Hermit, and the Six of Pentacles, says, actually, I need release from this. Okay, because I feel that I'm kind of holding myself back. I feel that some of you guys might be feeling that you're holding yourself back. The next cards are showing us the World. Now, the World card is all about achievements. It's about making a big accomplishment. Okay, it's about massive rewards. Okay, after you have come through a long journey. So, and it can also be about the ending of cycles. We also have the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is a card that says, I don't feel that I can move out of a certain situation because I feel restricted. It's a card of restriction. So for some of you guys, you might feel that you have the world on your shoulders. You might, you know, I noticed how this girl on the Eight of Swords has her eyes closed to the world. Okay, so it's almost like something is there for her for the taking, but she feels that she can't go for it. And this is the sense I'm getting with you guys. I feel that you're certain of something here, but there is something that is holding you back. Now, this can be other people, because when you get the Eight of Swords, this not only means that there are people's differing ideas that might be holding you back, because remember, swords are ideas. They're also struggles and challenges. So it could be other energies around you that you feel are holding you back. You feel that you can't really truly express what you feel or say what you feel, because the swords are about communication as well. Now, her mouth is not gagged, but she chooses not to express something. She chooses not to scream out. She chooses to suffer in silence. And I do feel that some of you guys, for some reason, are suffering in silence. And maybe this is where the Four of Pentacles as an advice card for the month of June comes in, Scorpio, because it means that you don't feel a sense of release. Okay, there might be fear to move out of something here. I could see that card representing these two, because the world is before you. The world is in front. The world is your oyster. Look at this. The world is in front of this lady here. Can you see that? It's right in front of her, but she chooses not to look at it. Okay? She chooses not to say anything. She chooses to suppress how she truly feels. And I feel that this could be because other people somewhere along the way are actually getting in the way of your true desires, or moving into some form of true desire. The foundation, the clarity card for this card, those two set of cards with the Ace of Wands. So this is excitement. At the basis of this, the reason for those two cards, it could be anger. It could be that you fear anger, because the Ace of Wands can be a now very angry card. So it can be where somebody just immediately has a blow up, okay? That's what the Ace of Wands can represent as well, okay? Because it's fire. So it's kind of like the beginning of something that's quite fiery, that's quite electrifying. Maybe you're afraid of some form of conflict here, which is why you choose not to go for something that is opening up to you. Alternatively, with that Ace of Wands, it would suggest, I feel, with that World card being there and that Eight of Swords, that there is something on the table for you. It's a new beginning. It's something quite exciting. And the World card seems to open it up to you. So as a result of the Ace of Wands being the reason, the World card seems to open it up to you. There's something that is quite an accomplishment here that you could make. But for some reason, something holds you back in the month of June. Why you won't go for this, why you won't be a part of it, why you're fearing it. Because the Eight of Swords is all about also living in our heads and feeling that we can't go for something because maybe somebody else, and I've always said about the Eight of Swords, somebody had to tie this person up. She couldn't have done it herself. Somebody's done it to her. Usually when you get the Eight of Swords, it's either that you're doing it to yourself, because it is a very much a mental card, or it's other people's ideas are doing it to you. So there's something that holds you back from opening up to something, and I feel you really want to go for it, because we have the Ace of Wands as the underlying reason for that World card, and also the Eight of Swords. The Ace of Wands says to me, there's something that says yes. It's the bright spark of some excitement here. And with the World card, it could be that there's a real achievement here, but for some reason we have the Eight of Swords, something that you feel that you can't pursue or can't go for here. Again, it's tied in with the Hermit, seeking that clarity, okay? The Hermit has turned its back on the Six of Pentacles, so it needs release from something I feel that might be a burden, or something that might be, you know, something that might be a little bit of a drain on you in the month of June. And I do feel with the Judgment card you need rebirth, you need renewal, you need something new. We also have the Ten of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. So the Ten of Wands is a card about, it can be a card about frustration that's up to the limit, okay? Absolute frustration. When you get something like the Five of Wands, which is half of this card, it's about inner turmoil, okay? Really kind of fighting something inward. It can be about external fights, but if it's a card that's based on how you're feeling, then it's about inner turmoil, frustrations, blockages. To me, the Ten of Wands is where something has really hit the limit. It's like when you're really struggling with something, lots of responsibilities. So for some of you guys in the month of June, there's lots of responsibilities. However, we do see that you're working hard to overcome that, okay? Your basis or your foundation card for this Scorpio is the Nine of Pentacles. So this is the reason for that Ten of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles. For some of you guys, you might be single parents. You might have a lot of responsibilities because the Nine of Pentacles can be somebody who works to sustain a certain type of living. It's somebody who works hard to look after others because there's lots of responsibilities with that Nine of Pentacles there. They've got lots of things that they, you know, that they owe to or they need to do. It can be a job. It can be your own business, for example, because the Nine of Pentacles can be a card about maybe being self-employed, working for oneself. For some of you guys, there might be a struggle with this and you're working really, really hard to try and resolve that, okay? For some of you guys, it could be that you're single because the Nine of Pentacles is someone who has everything, but the one thing that they probably don't have is love. And for some of you guys, it might be a real bloody burden because you've got that Ten of Wands there, okay? So for some of you, it might be such a burden that you just choose to focus on work. And if that's the case, then I feel this Four of Pentacles is saying, you know, you need to change your routine up, Scorpio. Because staying, wanting love or wanting, you know, a different way to overcome a struggle, you know, you can't stay in a gilded cage. Because the Nine of Pentacles can also mean somebody who's on their own, but they're in a gilded cage. They're like locked away, like a songbird in a gilded cage. They might look fine and all the rest of it, but they're not really getting out there and doing stuff. They're just kind of, she's kind of like some woman who's in her own world. So for some of you guys, you might be in your own world and you might be struggling against the elements with that Ten of Wands, all on your own. And again, we see somebody on their own here with the Eight of Pentacles. You might just choose to focus on work to get over the kind of struggles for not having anyone there. But this Four of Pentacles says, you know, as an advice card, where you need to kind of move out of your comfort zone. Okay, if you want love in the month of June and all you're doing is kind of struggling with the fact that you don't have it, you might have everything else, but you don't have that special person, well, go out there and find it. Okay, if you don't change what you do, then things stay the same. They tend to stay the same. And this card, the Eight of Pentacles, even though it can represent going into a new job, that's the general meaning of it. But if you look at the card, it's somebody who does something over and over and over again. And we see the Ten of Wands, struggle card, uphill battle, and the Eight of Pentacles, a pattern of behaviour. So maybe there's a pattern of behaviour with you guys that renders you as this. And really what this card could be saying is, well, if you want to change your life, you need to change your patterns, and that requires you to come out of the comfort zone. You need to open up a little bit more and realise that there is more to life than just working, maintaining the household, this, that and the other. You need to do more. Okay, you need to open up a little bit more, Scorpio. And the final two cards are showing us the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Now, the Nine of Cups is a card about enjoyment, having a good time. So it could mean that for some of you guys, you do actually get out there and you do actually start to kind of spread your wings a little bit and enjoy yourself with friends and meet different people, because it's the card of feeling smug and feeling contentment and feeling really happy. We do see the Ace of Cups as well. So love is being offered here. There's new love potentially for some of you guys as well in the month of June, because we've got two very strong. The Nine of Cups I wouldn't say is a very strong love card, because this can be about a self-satisfied smug man, somebody who has many notches on his belt, but he doesn't really value love that much. He values the love of his friends, maybe of his family, but those 9 cups are about the achievements above his head. And he's quite proud of that, okay? And for some of you guys, it might be that you don't want to move out of being on your own, because love is being offered, new love is being offered to this guy on the 9 of Cups. But does he want to take it? Well, we don't know. He just seems happy with what he's doing at the moment. New love could be offered to some of you single Scorpios, I feel, in the month of June. Now, the reason for this, the clarification card for this is the Lovers. So for some of you guys in the month of June, there's a deep attraction coming in, okay? Love is offered, and I feel it's mainly to do with some single Scorpios, okay? Those of you without love, okay? For some of you guys, it might be that you're already involved in an intense relationship with the Lovers card, and you're needing to make a choice, because the Lovers card is all about choice. It could be that you're offering love to someone who really couldn't care less. They've got other options, okay, besides you. And maybe that's where we get the Hermit and the 6 of Pentacles as your general energy. That you're needing clarity on someone, 6 of Pentacles, a guy, a girl, whoever, who doesn't just give to you, but gives to others. So he might not have time, he or she might not have time for you. And maybe you're seeking clarity on whether you should go it alone or whether you should continue, but you do need to make like a final judgment on this. And your advice card with the Lovers, the 9 of Cups, and that Ace of Cups is, yeah, the 4 of Pentacles. Some of you guys might be involved in a very strong emotional attachment with someone where you are continuously offering something to someone who doesn't give a shit. And the 4 of Pentacles says, you know, again, it's about, you know, coming out of your comfort zone. Some of you guys, you might be fearful to do that. Now, the 4 of Pentacles, when I looked at the clarification card for that card, we had the 5 of Pentacles. So the reason for that 4 of Pentacles is because some of you guys might be afraid of being shut out in the cold. You might be afraid of being on your own. You might be afraid of, having disengaging yourself from a relationship. So you choose to stay in it with the 4 of Pentacles. You choose not to move out of it because it's safer to be in it. It's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. But we can see as the general energy for a lot of you guys in the month of June, Scorpio, that you do want freedom and you do want a new way of life and a new way of living, because we've got judgment here, rebirth. This is what you're seeking, and this is what you're seeking clarity on. Okay, for some of you guys, as I've mentioned, it's about giving to many people. Some of you guys might have a lot of responsibility and you might simply just need time away from that, okay? But maybe with the advice card, you tend to stick with that because you don't really want to be separated from what you know with the 5 of Pentacles. You don't want, you know, this separation, this disengagement from what you are used to. Maybe you feel that you'll be locked out, you'll be on your own, you'll have no support, and it's better to be in a cold, whatever relationship, a relationship you know is not great for you, rather than to be outside of it where you don't have that support system. For some of you guys with the Magician, you are looking to initiate something new. The Queen of Swords says you've made your mind up. You've absolutely made your mind up exactly what you want to do. You're starting to gather all the ideas together and you're working through the process of how to apply this. Basis is the 8 of Cups. You've walked away from something that is no longer emotionally fulfilling or viable for you. Okay? But the Queen of Swords sometimes still means that you're making your mind up, because to me, she's like a process card. She doesn't mean that the action has literally been taken. It just means that the thoughts are there. You know exactly, in terms of how you're thinking and feeling, what direction you want to take. Okay? And that's because the Hermit says you've thought about it. The 6 of Pentacles, maybe you've just given too much to something here. And maybe with the Judgment card, you need release. But the 4 of Pentacles, as your advice card says, are you strong enough to move out of this? Because maybe you're afraid of being left out in the cold. The world is your oyster with the world and the 8 of Swords, but yet there are many ideas that are holding you back from grasping that. And we see the foundation of this being the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is new. It's exciting. There's something new and exciting there for you. And we can see it with the world. There's a real accomplishment here, but why don't you take it? Because you're held back either by other people's ideas or by your own thoughts. You won't allow yourself to go and grasp that. And that's because of fear with the Four of Pentacles. Because perhaps you're afraid to do things on your own without that support there. The Ten of Wands. There's real frustration here, I feel, for some of you Scorpios. But you choose to kind of ignore it, or you're doing the same thing over and over and over again with the Eight of Pentacles. The foundation of this is the Nine of Pentacles. Some of you guys might be on your own. You might want a relationship. It might be a struggle. You might be feeling sexually frustrated, for example, with that Ten of Wands. So you choose to ignore it by working harder. Or you're just doing the same thing over and over again with the Pentacles, because Pentacles are not feeling cards, they're more what we do in the outside world. Okay? But the Hermit says that you're seeking clarity over this. Because the Six of Pentacles says that maybe you're just giving too much in the wrong direction. Okay? Maybe you're thinking more about others than you're thinking about yourself. And Judgment says, well, I need some release from this. The Four of Pentacles, in terms of this card, I feel, means, as your advice card, that you need to change up your routine, Scorpio, okay? Because the Four of Pentacles means that you're set in your ways and you're afraid to kind of move forward. So you need to change your ways up with that card. But maybe you're afraid to change your ways up because you're afraid of being out there in the cold. No support, feeling major blockages, even feeling slightly directionless, because the Five of Pentacles can deal with also a lack of direction. Also, for some of you guys, it might be with this Nine of Pentacles that, you know, you're working hard to maintain a certain standard of living, but maybe it's just become too much of a burden. And maybe with the Eight of Pentacles, you just keep doing the same thing and hoping for a different outcome. But the Four of Pentacles says, well, if you don't change your routine, how can you expect that? And finally, we have the Nine of Cups. This is smug, happiness, could be a wish fulfilled. Could be that love comes in for some of you guys in the month of June 2016. Especially you single people that are not in a relationship. And this is, the foundation for this is the Lovers. There's a strong attraction here, potentially. Okay? Now, if it's a strong attraction, it could mean, in terms of love, maybe you... Because the Lovers to me suggest two lovers that are together but they're apart. So for some of you guys, it might be that love is offered in terms of something a little bit more stable. Alright? And maybe therefore your Four of Pentacles is that you're going to be having far more security within the month of June. If the Nine of Cups guy is somebody who is unwilling to give love or to offer you love, or, you know, he just wants kind of like a friends with benefits relationship, then it means that you're offering love to somebody who really probably doesn't deserve it. And the underlying reason for this is the Lovers. You might be very attracted to someone, but at the same time, you need to make a choice that benefits you. So the Four of Pentacles, therefore, would say to me that you need to come out of your comfort zone and stop being possessive and holding on to something that doesn't really benefit you in the long run. Whew, very interesting reading. I don't even know how long that reading went on for Scorpio. But yeah, I'm going to have to put it up as it is, basically. I know it's long, but... yeah, very, very interesting reading. I feel that the ethos for the month is that you guys need freedom. Because Judgment is showing it as the clarifying card for that for that Hermit and the Six of Pentacles. I feel that if you're giving too much to a certain situation and you're not getting enough back, then you need release from it. And I feel that it will take coming out of a comfort zone. Okay, so I feel that the ethos for the month is coming out of a comfort zone and moving forward into your own bliss. For some of you guys, you know, it's going to be a case of to trust a situation maybe, okay, because it might just give you more security than you ever felt, okay. Maybe stop looking at something so negatively. For some of you guys, it's, you know, feel the fear and do it anyway, because you seem to be in your heads quite a bit and you're afraid to kind of take a chance on something here. You obviously, for some of you guys, want to initiate something new, so go for it. And that Ten of Wands. Some of you might be literally really frustrated at not having a relationship, okay? But you might be doing the same thing over and over and over again. You might be ignoring how you truly feel. Well, if you want a relationship, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone and do something about it, instead of doing the same thing over and over again. I feel this is all about coming out of a comfort zone and moving forward, Scorpio, in the month of June. If you really want changes, then you're either going to have to trust the situation or indeed walk away from it. That is your reading, Scorpio, for the month of June 2016. I'd like to say thank you very much for joining me, and I will be back with your live spread reading very, very soon. Take care.